Meditation, a good way to start. Feel your feet on the ground, listen and look. What does this do? First off, it grounds you by feeling your feet on the ground, on the still ground. It brings you to a place of stillness. By listening to the sounds around, sounds that are close, and then expanding your hearing, you begin to realize that these sounds are coming from and returning to silence. With this realization, you begin to understand that all movement comes and goes, but silence remains. By looking, you see the space that you are in and what is in front of you. You may notice small things that you didn't notice before, small details that we never see until we are present enough to see it. The combination of feeling, listening, and looking brings you out of your mind and into the present. If you wanted to label this practice, it would be called mindfulness, and it prepares you for deeper depths of meditation. This can be practiced anywhere, at any time, whenever you have a chance to put it into practice. By consistently practicing, you become more familiar with silence and being present. You also begin to learn more about the nature of the mind and its frantic activity. This is where the real work begins, bringing the frantic activity of the mind to rest, which can be done in meditation. I closed my eyes and silently repeated the mantra. It opened up and came in waves. That was my experience when I first started meditating early on, when I started using a mantra, and that's the next thing that we'll talk about. We have felt our feet on the ground, listened and looked. We have become more familiar with silence and the nature of the mind. Where do we go from here? The only way to go is up. There are many different techniques and practices of how to meditate, but the one thing that never changes in all practices is using your focus. Attention is key. Meditation works with attention. The way that I learned to meditate is by putting all my attention within on a mantra, which is a word or a phrase that is silently repeated over and over. By putting all of your attention on the mantra, you begin to notice distractions such as noise or thoughts that take your attention away from the mantra. What must be done is every time your attention is taken away from your focus, you gently bring it back to the mantra. You never want to force anything in meditation. You are not trying to force your attention to stay on the mantra, but as your attention is taken away, you gently bring it back over and over again, and eventually it becomes easier to keep your attention on the mantra for longer periods of silence with fewer distractions. This is the space between thoughts, and that's where you come to rest between the thoughts. Now, the nature of the mind is to think, thoughts always coming and going, so you can't change that, but what you can do is find a place of rest in between those thoughts. And the deeper you go in meditation and the more you practice, the longer those silent periods in between the thoughts last. When your full attention is on the mantra, you go beyond body and mind to dwell in stillness and peace, where you come to rest. The longer you dwell in the stillness, the more intimate it becomes, and your life begins to change. You started the process of clearing away all of the unnecessary stuff that you no longer need to hold on to. Meditation is letting go. What exactly are we letting go of? You're letting go of everything and coming to rest. Along the way, you have small windows of realization that encourage and inspire you to keep going. These realizations are insights of truth. You learn more and more about yourself and life. One example I can give you is I started seeing my bad habits more clearly, and I was able to make an effort to stop repeating the same bad habits over and over. Meditation begins to wake you up, and you begin to notice more and more continues to be revealed at the right time. And I just wanted to mention about that example I gave you, how I could see my bad habits more than I could before I started meditating. So that's what happens. You begin to slow down the thought process and you begin to see more clearly. It's like muddy water. The mud begins to settle to the bottom and the water becomes clear. And you can see what's going on within and without more clearly now. And this helps you to work on yourself and to better your life. So this is one of the ways that you can have relief from the frantic activity of the mind, is by bringing the mind to stillness and coming to rest. And just to wrap this up, this is a lifelong process. What I have shared with you is how I began meditating and some of the early experiences that I had. It is wonderful to start meditating, but it is a lifelong practice. I consider this work to be the most important work we can do. Meditation heals, and by healing ourselves, we can then begin to heal others. But it starts with you. To make whole, be whole. That is what meditation does. It makes you whole. For me, personally, it has changed my life, and only good comes from meditation. Not that it's not hard work, but you will encounter obstacles and suffering. But meditation helps you to overcome all of that. I have shared with you how to begin. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me. And if you enjoy the channel, please subscribe. And thanks for watching. A lot more to come. Just wanted to quickly say a few more words about meditation. Meditation gives you relief from the frantic activity of the mind by bringing the mind to rest, and you come to stillness and peace. Even if it's just for a second or two to start, those periods of stillness and peace become longer as you continue to practice. And we all know how hard life can be and how chaotic and frantic, and how our thoughts can sometimes take us away to the past or the future and cause us stress. So meditation relieves stress, and it gives you sanctuary from the chaos of the world and from the frantic activity of the mind. And it only gets better and better as you continue to practice. This is why I wanted to take the time to share with you what I know. And again, if anyone has any questions about meditation, please let me know. Feel free to message me. I love meditation, and I'm grateful that I can share what I know with other people. I had a dream about you. You were covered in blue. We grow old to die, it ain't nothing new. Did they teach you that in school? It's one for the sun and two for the moon. I'm sorry I've got to go. Just wanted you to know. I had a dream about you. You were covered